Hey there. So today's show is with Valonda Calloway. And let me tell you, she's a TV lady. If you want to know how to polish up your presentation skills, what kind of tricks that you can do so that you sound better, look better, what kind of things. She's a dancer too. So if you want to, you can check out some of her TikToks and Instagram. She's dancing on there as well. So that's kind of like a joke between us. It's like, girl, I'm a dancer too. This is way before TikTok. But she basically is doing a lot to help people with media training as well as stage presentations, or if you're a business executive and you want to speak better. A lot of times people are so nervous about speaking, and she can really help you not only what to say, but how to say it and talk about body language as well. So I talk a lot with my eyes, my hands. I'm saying a whole lot, but also too in terms of what to wear, what colors, like, are your earrings fluffing around? Last time we did an interview together, I had these crazy earrings on. She said, yeah, those probably wouldn't work. But anyway, after this, I'm going to bring up Valonda.
Welcome to the Get Out There and Get Known podcast. Join Pam Perry, veteran PR strategist, Emmy award-winning producer and publisher of Speakers Magazine, who will show you how to crack the code in getting out there to get known. Each week, she either interviews her media friends, PR colleagues, or she just goes solo, offering you strategies on publicity, publishing, and platform building. So listen up to hear how to get booked on media places and on superstar stages. Now, here's your host, Pam Perry.
Hey there, there's Valonda, the TV lady. Love you, love you. Thank you so much for coming on again.
Hi, Pam. Thank you so much for having me.
I think the last time you came on, the book had just come out. What's the name of the book?
Tips from the TV Lady.
Yes, Tips from the TV Lady. So that was when we first, and that was before COVID.
That was during COVID. That was 01.
Okay, yeah, that was during that time. So since then, people have really learned how to present better on Zoom, learn how to do all the tricks and all that kind of stuff, and you've been helping that. So basically, give them your background too, because you are the TV lady, because you are a TV lady, you're a journalist.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to talk about my background, and thank you once again for having me, Pam. I have worked in television my entire career. I knew from the time I was about 5 years old that is what I wanted to do. When other people were outside playing and making mud pies, that's what my sister loved to do. I was in the house with my dad watching TV. It was our ritual after dinner every night to watch the 6 o'clock local news and the 6:30 national news. So I became a bit of a TV news nerd.
Yeah.
And so I went to college and majored in mass communications at Winston-Salem State University. While I was there, I did the radio news at the campus radio station, WSNC. Right after school, I went to work in radio at Voice of America in Washington, D.C.
Wow.
There for 5 years. And then after 5 years, I said, your goal is TV, Valonda. You've been in radio for 5 years. Might need to make that happen. And so I transitioned into TV after 5 years in radio.
Wow.
And it's been TV ever since. I was a news anchor, news reporter, then a TV host in lifestyle programming, which is different than news. Lifestyle, we're talking about food and fashion and fun stuff.
Fun stuff. But yeah. That is
a number of years. And I got the nickname the TV Lady because after working, I live in Raleigh, and I've been in Raleigh, North Carolina since 2001. No matter where I would go, somebody would always come up to me, aren't you the TV Lady? Whatever reason, my name wouldn't stick. And people who didn't know each other in different places, it might be in the grocery store, it might be at the mall or just different places, I would always get, aren't you the TV Lady? And at first it annoyed me, and then I decided to embrace it. So
yeah, just go with it. Yeah, that's one of the things. If people are always saying it, go with that brand. It's a good thing. They can say things that are worse. So that's a good brand, the TV Lady.
That is true.
And so I want people to know they can still get your book on Amazon as well.
Yes,
and that book is called Tips from the TV Lady.
That's right. That's right.
That's and so again, expanding on that brand. So now you also have a dance career as well. Well, I don't say dance career, but you teach dance. So I want people to kind of hear a little bit of an alignment. So she's always been watching television and liking news and that kind of thing, but she likes to move too. Okay. So she like a little mini Janet Jackson. I've seen some of
Oh, wow.
I've seen some of that video there. Oh, that was so cute. You know,
That is high
right.
praise. Thank you.
Yes, yes. No, it's a lot. So that part, tell me a little bit about what your dad said about you and the dance. And he said, in so many words, like that's a good kind of a hobby, but let's kind of go with the journalism degree.
Yeah, as much as I love TV, I love dance equally. I've been dancing my whole life.
Hmm.
Started formal lessons in ballet and jazz when I was about 14 years old. Used that talent to do pageants all through high school, earned some scholarship money to college thanks to pageants.
Hmm.
And I cheered in high school, but our cheerleading team at Winston-Salem State does a lot of dancing.
Yep.
So I kept the dancing going there. And then, even after graduating college, starting that first job at Voice of America in Washington, D.C., I wasn't ready to stop dancing. So I danced professionally for 2 years for what at the time was the Washington Redskins,
Yes, yes.
now the Washington Commanders. So I
Right.
did have a professional career as
Yeah.
a dancer. But again, it was on the side. I was working full time while I was doing that. And so I've danced my entire life, and it's something that I love. It's something I enjoy. It's my exercise, it's my escape.
Hmm.
And about 15 years ago, I started teaching dance. And
Yes.
so I teach at North Carolina Dance Institute in Raleigh, North Carolina. And my students are mid teens to adults.
Hmm. Hmm.
Oh, it is not stuffy, it is fun. And some of these people are doing it just for fun, and some of them have big goals. Some of them want to be on a professional dance
Yeah.
team, want to get to Broadway, they want to do other things. And so it's been an absolute joy to see some of my students move on to bigger and better things.
And so I say that because what you do with media training or helping people overcome stage fright or helping people move better on
Mhm.
stage, that all really is synergy
Yeah.
because you have to teach dance and they have to come out of their shell. I mean, they're not dancing in a closet. So 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 part of it is even though they're not speaking, it's still something that they have to get used to. So the same thing that you're teaching with media training or presentation skills or how to move away from the podium. We we talked about that before, how we don't want to stay like locked to the podium and look
Mhm.
like you're gonna die or something like you're hugging on to the podium. But you use those same kind of skills to warm people up and to make them feel comfortable because teaching is something that you do and you can see where people are in different levels, but
Mhm.
it's such a joy when you see someone who's beginning to dance and then they're at the recital or someone who is really afraid to speak and then now they're doing Zooms or they're doing podcasting or they're doing
Mhm.
television. So it's the same type of, I guess you would say, brain that you have that can help people expand into that. So tell them what you're doing now because you said you were in the Raleigh Durham. And so you're doing a virtual training, I guess you would say. Is it virtual training or
It's hybrid. It's both.
hybrid? Okay. All right. So explain to me about what you're doing in June.
Yes, I'm doing a master class June 21st, and it's called Step into the Light.
Okay.
So get out of the shadows. And it is all about getting out there and sharing your gifts because we all
Hmm.
have different gifts. And
Hmm.
thank you, Pam, for making that connection between what I do as a dance teacher and what I do as a
As a media
presentation
trainer.
and media coach. Thank you so much for making that connection.
Hmm.
That is my gift. You
Hmm.
have this gift of helping people to get the exposure they need for whatever it is that they're doing. We all have something to share. And
Hmm.
I think that it is not doing justice to your creator to hide in the shadows and make yourself small because you are afraid. And so
Right.
this masterclass is designed to help people break out of that shell and go from nervous to notable
I
and
love that.
share whatever it is that they are meant to share. And so I
Mhm,
want people to step into the light, get out there on stage, click join, ask for that promotion, ask for that sale, whatever it is that you are here to do, get to it. And I'm
Mhm.
going to help you do that by polishing up your presentation skills. And
That's
so
it.
that's everything from your body language to your vocal delivery to
Ooh,
how you
Valonda,
present.
let's stop with vocal delivery. So, can a person, if they have a very high, squeaky, I won't say irritating voice, but if they have a voice that's not radio, okay? Because you have a radio voice, so that's different. So, can you teach someone or train someone to vocally sound better to an audience?
Absolutely. And Pam, not everybody is meant to sound like they're on radio.
Yeah, yeah.
That squeaky voice is that person's authentic voice. And so perhaps that is part of their story. A big thing that we'll do in this class is talk about storytelling.
Ah,
Maybe you were born with that voice, or maybe there was some type of medical condition or accident that led to that voice. Whatever it is, that could be a part of your story.
I do remember someone having I think it was Jerry Savelle's daughter. I can't think her first name, but Savelle was her last name. And she has a squeaky voice. And so when she first comes on, she says, I know I sound like I'm 12, but I'm really a grown woman with children. And it's part of her thing because it's such a high pitched voice. It's like, whoo, but that is part of her story. But I'm talking
Mhm.
about someone who maybe not saying a whole lot of ums, but someone who needs to bring it down a notch so that it can sound a little bit more. They never knew. Like,
Yeah.
I'll give you a good example. Fantasia, I guess she's from the area as well, North
Yes.
Carolina. She has a very high voice,
Right.
like squeaky. But when she sings, I'm like, girl, what happened? But we can
Mhm.
train our vocal cords. So
We
she
can
must do that.
we can absolutely train our vocal cords. But you know, a lot of people, do you remember the singer Michelle?
Yes, yes.
She also has a very high speaking voice, but when she
Yes.
sings, she has a very deep register.
Yes.
And so that is the case for a lot of people. But yes, you can absolutely do things to make your voice sound better. There
Mm,
are breathing exercises you can do, there are vocal
good
trainings that you can do with an expert
breathing.
vocal coach.
Ah,
I'm not a vocal coach, but I do have tools and tricks that I use to help people to sound better and to get into that deeper register.
resonance. Yeah, yeah, that is really good. Now let's talk a little bit about body language that you help people with. Well, first of all, do you help people with maybe preparing their speeches or presentations as well? Like give them the outline of what should be at the beginning, middle, and the end type of thing?
Absolutely. And once again, I'll go back to storytelling. That is such an important part of sharing your message, no matter what type of message it is that you're sharing. And body language, I'm so glad you brought that up because that is the number one thing that people pay attention to.
It
Before
is.
they decide whether they even want to hear what you have to say, they're going to judge your body and
That's so
what your body is doing. And so
and you
that
know
is,
what? I think about that because even in a pageant, okay, so we're just saying that. Now, even though you may not want to be a pageant person, you can learn from what you just said in terms of body language of how to walk, stand, pose. There's so
Mhm.
many things that photographers now are just they're having a hard time trying to help like people say, I want to get a photo shoot. So
Yeah.
someone will hire someone to do a photo shoot and the person doesn't know how to pose and the photographer
Mm.
doesn't know how to pose them. But
Mhm.
if you had gone through pageant training, they'll show you certain ways where you have to stand and pose and hold. That is part of body language. So
Absolutely.
before I'm just kind of looking at your career, Valana. It's like a lot of the things that you have that you've done all kind of meld together to
Mhm.
really share other people. But journalism is the main thing because it's storytelling. You got to find a
Mhm.
story. But in terms of how people dress, we talked about that earlier, how
Mhm.
they dress. Because if you're not if you don't have on the right outfit, if you're especially this is a woman, not so much as men, but women are judged probably harsher than men on stage when
Mhm.
they're speaking. So they could be, say, give an example. when Hillary ran for president,
Yeah.
people always criticized her for wearing these pantsuits that were just like
Mhm.
just too big or whatever. Well, Kamala wore pantsuits too, but no one really criticized her. It was
Mhm.
just how they were tailored, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't about their body size, but just how they fit. So let's talk a little bit about the dress code, I guess you would say, for speakers. Should they all be in solids? So I see that you're in two solids. You don't have a lot of stripes and flowers and like, I wanna wear all the prints, it's like, "I wanna wear this," and it's like, "Okay, that's nice, but not on camera." So do you go over that as well?
Yes, and I have a master stylist, Mary Michelle Niderfer, who is joining me to
See?
talk about color.
Mhm,
And Michelle has such a great story because she owns a boutique and is a master style coach and helps people to understand their color intensifiers. For example, what colors they should wear based on their eye color or their hair color, and really owning who you are,
mhm.
not saying, oh, I'm gray and I just need to shrink and hide. No, nobody cares. Rock your gray, love it. Find the right colors to go with it so that you pop.
Yes, yes, and colors make you feel better. There's
They
certain colors that will make
do.
you feel better when you present. If I wake up
Absolutely.
maybe one morning and I'm not feeling kinda blue, it's rainy outside, or I heard some news last night, the next day, I'll probably pull out yellow,
Yeah.
okay, or something like that that's like a hot pink because I
Yeah.
want to feel better. And then that way
Absolutely.
throughout the rest of the day, you're presenting better, you're talking better, you have more of
Mhm.
a upbeat versus that, "I'm just gonna put on gray."
You're absolutely right. And look at you. You look amazing in that red.
Thank you, I love red.
And, and you mentioned that I'm wearing solids as well. I
Mm,
hardly ever wear print. I
yeah,
think
it
I
just
might have 2 things in my closet with prints on them.
yeah, yeah,
I own very little print. Even in my personal time when I'm not working and coaching, I still tend to be drawn to solids. I'll wear print every now and then, but
mhm,
usually it's on the bottom.
mhm,
I like solids up top because you don't want to be a distraction.
yes, yes,
And so many times, stripes and dots and whirligigs and all the things can cause a distraction and take
mm.
away from what it is that you have to say.
That's true. That is so true. And we talked about jewelry last time. I
Mhm.
had some really long feather earrings, and I like to make a point, and they were so distracting. It's like, what is this big puff coming out of her ears?
Mhm.
So really, a lot of times, if you're going to be speaking, you can have a handheld mic, of course, but sometimes if you have a lavalier, y- it could for a woman, it might can hit that lavalier on the television show, and then it's like, well, what is that sound? Or your earrings are too loud. So
Mhm.
there's some earrings that have a whole lot of clunking going on. They could be cute as all get out because I love earrings. I love earrings, but you got to know which ones to wear that are appropriate for the microphone and also too for the television cameras because if they're swinging too much, then it's a distraction.
You're absolutely right. You're
That's
hitting on
those
all
those
cylinders.
are the
Yeah.
things that you're gonna go over. So I like the fact that you're doing like a holistic event where you're going over mindset, you're teaching them about movement, you're going over storytelling, you're helping them with the dress. And there was a lady that I met. She was a stylist, and she said she's a stylist for curvy girls.
Mhm.
And basically, it's like sometimes like a lot of curvy girls will like, the clothes aren't made for me or whatever. But she says, no, I can find clothes for the curvy ladies that will
Mhm.
make them look really, really good. So, you know, a style is someone who is into style, knows how
Yeah.
to style someone that's not their size, someone who's bigger or someone who's smaller. Because sometimes
Mhm.
if you're too small, they will wear, and I have a friend who's really, really tiny, like a size 2. She'll always wear baggy clothes. I'm like,
Mhm.
"Why are you wearing baggy clothes?" She says, "To make me look bigger." I said, "No, it makes you look smaller because it looks like you have on baggy clothes, like it's
Yeah.
not fitting." So versus, someone who like if she's small, it doesn't have to be clingy, but you want it to have some tapering to it.
Yeah.
So those are really, really important in terms of how you're presenting yourself
Yep.
because for so many people, I want to say it was Dr. Sherwood, but she said, when you're speaking, she said 90% of what it is that you're saying is heard with your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Not what you're saying, not the speech you spent all night writing,
Mm-hmm.
not 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 any of that. It's the tone of your voice, your body language, how you look. She said all those other things are 90%, not what you put on the paper or what you've written or memorized.
Body language and how you present yourself is so incredibly important. We cannot undervalue
I did
the
not know.
importance of thinking about the aesthetic. Think
Mm,
about everything, every other part of your life. If you are at a restaurant and the plate comes out to you and the chef has taken the time to draw a design with the piping
yes.
thingamabob, and then they put the food on and you see all the colors, you see some red and some green, some flourishes, and it's beautiful. You go, oh, and you can't wait to dig in. But
Mm.
what if that same plate came out and it didn't have any of the green flourishes? They didn't do the design with the, what do you call that thing? The
The
pipe and
yeah, pipe. Well, I'm not a baker or cook or anything.
that thing.
Yeah, right, right, right.
But if you put those two plates side by side, you're going to go for the one that
That looks
has
better.
been designed and presented so beautifully versus
Mhm,
the one that wasn't.
mhm, mhm.
There's a reason for that. We eat with our eyes, we
Yes.
consume information with our eyes, not just our ears.
That's true. It's somebody I want to say on Instagram where this lady makes food or makes cake, but they look like other things. Like she may
Hmm.
make it's a vegetable, but when they open it up, it's a cake. But it's like it's like we eat with our eyes. So she
Yeah.
creates things that look like something else, and people are like, "No, I don't want it, don't want it." And then when they cut it open,
Hmm.
it's like, "Oh my God, that is so true. That is so true."
Yeah.
I want to take a little break. I'm going to act like a producer today for
Okay.
the first time. Like I'm trying to get it together here because the last time I wasn't doing all this, but I'm gonna take a little break and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about how people can actually get onto your program and then how you can help them individually too if they don't want to come with to the program. Okay. All right.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Are you ready to elevate your speaking career and be a part of a movement that amplifies Black voices? Speakers Magazine is your go-to resource highlighting top speakers, industry insights, and strategies to take your platform to the next level. Subscribe today and unlock the blueprint for speaker success. Visit www.speakersmagazine.com, the #1 magazine for Black speakers. Subscribe now and start your journey to success. Amplify your voice. Subscribe today.
All right. That voiceover was none other than my husband. So
Oh,
so he does voiceovers. I was like, you know what? You're gonna do a commercial for me. Okay. You're gonna do a
very
commercial for me.
nice. I
So
bet, was that part of what attracted you to him, his
it
voice?
was. It was. It really was. That was the thing. I was in communications and he was into advertising and he did voiceovers and he had this baritone voice and I was like, ooh, he doesn't sing, but I do
Mhm.
like a good voice. So that's
Yeah.
one of the things. He had that kind of like that rap there. I was like, oh, okay.
Mhm.
So yeah, so 30 years later, we're still together. He's still talking and doing the things on the
And
podcast now. Who would have thought?
congratulations, you two just celebrated that anniversary, right? I
Yes.
saw it on Instagram.
We did, and I made him do that Kendrick Lamar, "They Not Like Us." He was like, "What are we gonna do?" I said, "Before we go in the restaurant, we gonna do They Not Like Us." He said, what is this?" And my daughter, bless her heart, she was like, Daddy's not gonna get this." And he did, he got it in one take,
Mhm.
because I'm the person that is like, it's one take on the TikTok. I'm not doing them over and over
Yeah,
again.
he
Yeah,
loved you.
thank you, he did. He was like, "Okay, we're gonna go for it." I was like, "Okay, this is what we're gonna do." But I think when people are one of the things that you said, Falana, I like what you said. It says make sure that they're not hiding under their shadow, that they step into the spotlight, that they one of the things being a publicist is that people will come to me and want publicity and I can get them radio, TV, print, whatever, we're going to do it. But what I can't do is really work on their mindset if
Yeah.
they are, if they have something going on the inside that I don't know.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that's that part of it is like, what are we talking about? So literally one time I had someone booked for a television show. The person got sick. They couldn't do it. And I think it was psychosomatic. They
Yeah.
literally were like freaked out and they never did do any of the television stuff. And I was
Mhm.
like, what happened? And it
Yeah.
wasn't about media training because we did that, but it's something else about not wanting to step in the spotlight. And so I
Mhm.
like the fact that you're doing that part because I always tell people I'm a publicist, not a
Yeah.
therapist.
Right.
Don't do that mindset part. I mean, when you come to a publicist, you know we're gonna push you out there.
Right.
And then you're gonna have to want that. And it
Mhm.
will take and people do judge you, but you just have to be prepared. People will judge you.
We're
It's
going to be judged no matter what.
no matter what. Even if you don't do anything, you're gonna be judged.
You could do everything 100% right. And some people are miserable and they're going to judge no matter what.
Mhm.
And other people, perhaps they see something in you that they want. Who knows the reasons why people judge, but
Right.
that's what they do.
And we
And
have to step in
so,
the spotlight regardless. And
exactly,
that
exactly. My mantra is be your best self and don't worry about that. Somebody's judging me right now. Somebody doesn't like something I'm doing, I'm sure, in this interview, but this is me.
yeah, yeah.
And
You gotta roll with it, rock with it is what I say.
some
That's
people like it, some people don't, but it's okay.
mm. So your event is coming up in June, but you have other programs as well that you can work with people virtually. You can work with them in person. Kind of walk us through some of the things that you do. And it looks like you're an influencer. Are you an influencer for that water, LaCroix?
I am not, but I love some LaCroix.
I was like, I said she looked like she's an influencer now. I was like, okay.
No, I am not an influencer, but I should be because I love LaCroix.
You, you
LaCroix,
yes,
as I like to say.
you should
I,
go
I should be. I need to make that happen.
just reach out to their PR person. They would love that. They spent I have found that these agencies are spending so much money with influencers. They're not doing so much of the advertising and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. They're doing influencers. So yeah. But go
After I get through this class, I'll reach out to them. But right now, my focus is on this master
master
class
class.
and making sure everyone knows about it. Once again, it is hybrid, meaning you can attend in person in Durham, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Airport's only 12 minutes away, or you can join me via Zoom. And it's happening at this beautiful production studio in Durham. It is got all the latest technology. So you will feel like you are in the room where it's happening. It's going to be an immersive experience. And so if you're not close to Durham or don't want to fly into town, don't worry, you'll still have a great experience. And it's coming up on June 21st. Only 3.5 hours. It's not going to cover all the things, but we will get to quite a few of them. And then there'll be another opportunity after that to sign up for even more intense training.
Mm-hmm.
But
And
June 21st
mhm.
from 10 a.m. to 1:30 p.m.
Okay. And they'll get your book or they probably would have had the book already.
We probably have it already. It's still on Amazon, as you mentioned, if people would like to get it. But we are going to have a great time. It's going to be fun. It's a Saturday morning. It's not stuffy. We're going to have a lot of fun.
You're
We're going
probably
to
gonna
be
be
up
dancing.
on our feet.
You're probably gonna be dancing.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Of course. I
Me?
love that. That's you. That's part of you. It's like why would we not have an event and do some kind of dance? Okay.
Why would we not, Pam? You get me.
I love
That is me. Authenticity is key.
it.
That is one of the things that I preach. I'm a dancer. That's what I do. That's part of everything I do. Where appropriate, there's some places I can't dance.
Right.
But yeah, we're going to have a good time. And for people who come in person, you will also get a headshot. I have my photographer who's taken all of my photos over the past 5 or 6 years. She will be in the room.
Listen,
and everyone will leave with a brand new headshot.
And we won't be doing those seatbelt selfies anymore as
Oh,
your profile picture.
oh no.
I'm like, well, can you send me a picture? And they'll send me a picture. And I'm like, this is literally in your car, ma'am.
We are going to gather you
together.
We are going to gather you together and get you a great headshot.
Good.
You're going to get a confidence boost.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get some lessons on color and style and fit.
Yes.
We're going to have a good time.
Yes. And pictures are worth 1,000 words. So you do need good pictures because a lot of times they'll look at your speaker reel. Of course, you're going to need one of those, but they'll also want a really good picture because the picture is what they're going to show on their flyers in order to get people to
Yeah,
come. So you can
absolutely.
have a crazy looking picture and you sound really good, but it's like, but I can't put you on the flyer because you don't look like the rest of the people on the flyer. You want a
Right.
really good shot. And sometimes people will there's a difference between a brand shot, which is like in the background, and then there's a headshot, which you don't
Mm-hmm.
need a background because you're
Mm-hmm.
going to be a part of someone's promotion. So
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. So Valonda, I want people to go to valondacalloway.com. They can actually get on your email list as well because you have other things that will be coming up as well. They can get your
Yes.
book, they can find out about how to hire you as an influencer, maybe come and speak at their events. I mean, there's a lot of that. Yeah, there we go. So we just kind of like planting those little seeds. I need to do one for this drink. I like this one here. This is
Oh yeah, my daughter likes that one.
I like these too. They come out with new flavors every week though. I said, you know what? I
Hmm.
can't remember which one I like because they have so many. So yes, so I
Yeah.
need to be an influencer. I need to do that as well. But this
Hmm.
is a really good time to do this because our country is going through a lot of transitions and people do not need to shrink back from their gifts, skills, and expertise. They need
Not
to
at all.
come forward, go bold. I mean, but at this point, we can do global. So even if opportunities aren't here, you can Zoom and be a speaker in another country. You can do things globally. Okay.
Yes.
I just spoke with
Thank
the
you for
woman
saying
before
that.
you. She was from the Virgin Islands and
Hmm.
US territory, but the whole point of it is that you don't have to stay in your city. You can do things internationally. It's so much easier now
Absolutely.
than it ever has been. So you have some
Absolutely.
expertise to share. So yeah. So
And
thank
Pam, I
you so
want
much.
people to know that this is a professional development credit, perhaps. And
Ah,
so you may want to, if you have an employer, ask your employer about
thanks.
paying to send you to this.
That's a good idea for really how to present better because I know sometimes if they're in their meetings and someone doesn't speak very well and they're boring everyone to tears, I think it would be a good idea for them
Yes,
to go and get some training because it's like, you know what?
absolutely.
Mary
Absolutely.
has to speak and she's got to do that presentation, but she just bores me to tears. Let's get her some training, So yeah, that is a good idea because the employer can't do it. They just want
Mhm.
you to present. But
That's right.
that is really, really a good idea. I love that. I love that. And it's in the North Carolina area. You said it's in Durham. And
Yes.
so that is really good as well. So I'll let some friends too that are in the area know about it as well.
Thank you.
Dr. Letitia Beatty. She's in
Yes.
the Raleigh Durham area. So I'll tell her as well. And she has a
Thank
group
you.
that is called Women Entrepreneurs United. So I'll make sure that I send her this link from this interview so she knows about it. She's in the area and the ladies they have a Facebook group, but they also meet once a month. So maybe this could be one of the things that they want to do.
Yes. And she's a fellow Winston-Salem State grad.
She sure is. She sure is in nursing. Yeah.
Yes.
That is
Yes.
yes. Yes. And I think she was on the cheer team. I want to say she was on the cheer
Mhm.
team or something, or she did a pageant. Anyway, you all would get along. I know you would. I think she told me she was on the cheer team or the dance team. Maybe it was a dance team or something like that. But yes, so she's doing a lot of entrepreneurial things. She's in my Ready Set Go Speak program. She's been on the cover of Speakers Magazine a couple of times. But this group of women that she has are really some of the ones that could probably use the program. You
Well,
know,
thank you so much for sharing that with them.
yeah, yeah, that would be good. That would be good. So with that, I am, wrapping this up. Thank you all so much for joining us today. I'm going to do one more little. I guess you would say this is a drop in or whatever. This is kind of like what I do, and then so thank you so much for joining us today. God bless. All right,
Thank
bye
you.
bye. Bye bye.